guys, how you doing? Well, I'm making my post about, hold on a second, let me put this on something, here we go. Shit, hold on, sorry. Jesus Christ. The luxuries of fucking okay. So, as I said, my first video is going to be about my coma. Got some notes here. Okay, long story, but one I need to tell. Okay, so just to give you some background information on myself. God damn it. I'm gonna kill him. Anyway, just to give you some background. I started smoking pot. I didn't smoke pot until I was 17, about 17. I smoked like a fiend. Was addicted to acid, not addicted, but I mean I did acid like every day for like 6 months when I was like a teenager. I loved hallucinogens. I did shrooms, acid. This was back when acid was cheap and real. But anyway, I started smoking pot and doing hallucinogens when I was about 17. Then I hit college I went to school at UCF, University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida. Studying, my major was philosophy, religion, and pop culture. Anyway, but this is all after that. So I didn't use anything hard until college. In college, I started partying, drinking, smoking pot. I've always smoked pot since I was 17. I just started partying and doing Xanax, and I didn't get my hands on. Next thing you knew, I was addicted to pills, and then eventually heroin, and then I started shooting up. And from there, I ended up having to get a medical leave from college and went to a bunch of rehabs. I'll discuss rehabs in another video. I've been to 4 and 3 halfway houses. But okay, I'm here to talk about my coma. My coma. Sorry. Okay, so after going to two rehabs, after relapsing over and over again, my dad was sending me to wonderful rehabs, where you have to put like $2,500 cash down on the fucking table to even get in, very nice rehabs, but I relapsed every time, I wasn't ready to get clean. So that happened, and so my dad sent me down to Florida. Great place to go, it's like drug central, but he doesn't think like that, but he didn't think of that when he sent me down there. He was just trying to help, So, anyway, I went to recovery first in Hollywood, Florida. Great place. They treated me well. Anyway, so I completed the inpatient program and went to the halfway house, which was $800 a month. These were really primo apartments. I mean, it wasn't just for addicts. It was, other people were living, normal people were living with us in the complex. We had a gym, a sauna, a pool, all that good stuff. So it was really nice. But I was clean for about 4 months. Well, no, 5 months, including the inpatient. So about 5 months I was clean. Longest I'd been clean at that time. Then God or whoever sent me a wonderful roommate named Debbie, who was a horrible junkie. She didn't want to get clean. She was my roommate. It was a 2-room apartment. And my other 2 roommates before Debbie moved in were great. We went to AA and NA meetings, and we had a great time, stay clean, helped each other out, whatever. Then Debbie moves in. She's constantly, you know, we're laying in bed, ready to go to bed, and she's saying, "Oh, I want a shot so bad right now." Da, da, da. She got me thinking, you know, thinking and thinking. So I schemed a doctor into getting Xanax after she moved in and got majorly fucked up. I went drinking one night, stayed at a friend's house, and got fucking fucked up on my Xanax. And just when so 7 a.m., I pull into the apartment complex, and I was so fucked up that I puked into my cup holder in my car. And just so happened that you know, the head of the house, you know, for from our rehab, just so happened to be right standing on the sidewalk, looking right at me in the car. And then looked up, and she was standing right there. So they drug tested me, and I failed. And they said, well, you can either go back to rehab, which they gave me the option of, or you can leave. Well, if you're an addict, you know that this is the first time this happened to me, where I felt like I had to get high. Like nothing else mattered. I had to get my hands on something. I had to get high because of all the talk of Debbie. I'm not blaming it on Debbie. It's just all that talk of heroin and the orgasmic feeling you get shooting up just made me want it so bad. Plus, I was doing Xanax, so I was not thinking straight, obviously. So I said, no, I don't want to go back. So I called my dad, and he's like, all right, I'll come pick you up. So... So my dad drove all the way down from Sevierville, Tennessee to Hollywood, Florida, which is like a 12-hour drive, probably 13-hour. It's almost to Miami. This is really sad. This is the saddest part. And I wish I could take this back if I could go back. While we were driving, I used his phone, and I was trying to get some pills to take with me back home to Tennessee. I would have went with him if I could have got the pills, but he wised up to what I was doing, took the phone out of my hand, and figured out that I was trying to get pills, and said, no, you're not getting any pills. I said, fine, well then I'll stay here. It was dusk. We sat, me and my dad sat with me on the back of his pickup truck, on the, you know, the not the hatchback, but the thing that lays out, you know, by the bed. And we sat, and he smoked cigarette after cigarette with me, and I said, no, I'm leaving. And he's like, no, please stay, just think about it. He wanted me to come with him so bad, and I wish I would have. And he cried, he said, okay, well, if that's what you really want, then okay. And he left. He drove all the way down, 12, 13 hours down to come get me, because he's the most wonderful Superman father in the world, and I made him drive all the way back without me. And you'll see what happened and why I regret that. Debbie was having a New Year's Eve party. So I had my car at the time. I drove to her place, her apartment, new apartment. There was no furniture, junkie style. She was having a New Year's Eve party. I didn't know how many people would be there or what would be there, but I got 7 Roxy 30s. And this is the last thing I remember, is crushing half a Roxy on a Holy Bible, and looking at her and saying, Debbie, I'm going to go easy, I have to, because my tolerance is down, and I don't want to hurt myself, and she said, yeah, go easy. That's the last thing I remember. That was at 7 p.m. So apparently the party started. This is what I heard from Debbie after the whole ordeal, after the whole overdose and all that. So the party starts, and apparently needles were brought, every kind of drug was brought, alcohol, beer, wine, liquor, Xanax, Coke, acid, everything, heroin, needles, like I said before, whippets, and I guess I just did everything. I just did every drug. I wanted to get high so bad. And, I don't know, I think about, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, Debbie noticed that I was slumped up against the couch with my arm out, needle on the floor, and blue. I was turning blue. I was blue. I was blue, like dead blue. And apparently Debbie goes, "Everybody get the fuck out right now. I'm calling an ambulance for Maria." So they all scattered, I guess, and thank God she called the ambulance. Most people don't. I've known plenty of people and friends who have died because the motherfuckers didn't call the fucking ambulance. So the ambulance came, they shot me with Narcan. Narcan saved my life. So the paramedics came and shot me with Narcan, saved my life, like I said. I flatlined 2 or 3 times at least, for a couple seconds at a time, but eventually they were me with the paddle boards. But what really did me in was I flatlined for 2 minutes and 32 seconds, as in my body shut down, all my organs shut down, my brain shut down. If you know anything about anything, as soon as your heart stops beating, your body immediately starts shutting down, decaying, dying. So, I don't remember any of that. I was told that later. So I wake up, and you're in the hospital bed, and they have the little dry erase board, say the date, and your doctor, and who's your nurse, and all that. Laying in the hospital bed, and the first thing I see, swear to God, look up, and it says January 7th. Mind you, this was a New Year's Eve party. It says January 7th, 2011. So of course my mind is fucking spinning. Like, what the fuck? January 7th. Last night I fucking remember is New Year's Eve. What the fuck happened? But I couldn't talk because they had put the tube down my throat, to help me breathe. I couldn't breathe on my own. So I couldn't talk. I was talking like this. I could barely speak. So I beckoned a nurse and I said, "Is my dad here?" She said, "No, we weren't able to contact your family." And I fucking flipped in my head like, oh my God, like they don't know where I am. Did my phone's been off? The thoughts racing, all this shit. I'm still wondering what the fuck happened. I couldn't even talk. They were moving me from the ICU to a recovery room. So, I asked the nurse to call my dad, and it took me 20 minutes to remember his number, which I've known by heart for for 5 years at that time. I finally got across the number. I had dyslexia. I was saying 856. His number's 865-482-884. I was saying 85628, and she was patient. It took me about 15-20 minutes, but she called and said that he was on the first flight out. The doctors come in before my dad arrives. As I'm waiting, the doctors come in and they tell me what happened. And of course, my brain was still real fuzzy, I understood what they were saying, but it was real fuzzy. They were asking me, what's your name, what's the date, who's your president, I passed all that. But they told me, they said, we didn't know if you were going to wake up brain damage, or not wake up at all, or wake up paralyzed, or whatever. When I woke up, my bottom half of my back was paralyzed, not paralyzed, but completely numb. I couldn't feel it, to the touch. They said that might go away. It's gone away, yeah. But anyway, so my dad showed up, and by the way, the ambulance people came by who saved my life, and they told me, you better thank your lucky stars. The doctor said this to you. You better thank your lucky stars and never do this again. Which kind of makes you feel bad, makes you feel guilty. Not the best thing to say, but they're doctors, But Anyway, so my dad came, and he literally sat in the fucking horrible, uncomfortable hospital recliner for a month while I was in the hospital. I had to go through lung treatment. The first thing, well, one of the first things the doctor told me when he walked in, my main doctor, was that your heart, all your organs shut down, like all of them, your kidneys, everything, your brain, everything. So there's nothing we can do about your brain. You're speaking, so you're okay. You don't have your brain damage might. A little bit of brain damage might come in later, a little bit of, like memory loss, which I do have. But they said the main thing is we have got to get your heart. Your heart is at 20% right now. We have to get your heart to at least 40%, if not better. Because at my age, it should be at 60 to 80%. So I had to do, and my lungs were shot, from the tube and from my organ shutting down. So I had to do those horrible albuterol fucking treatments. They suck. They taste like shit, but I had to do it. I did it. Every time the guy who would do it for me or administer it to me, I would look at him with like, ooh, I hate you. But, that's just his job. But I went through a lot of depression and guilt with my dad sitting next to me. We didn't talk a lot, he thought I was dead. He thought I was dead. My mom thought I was dead. They called all the hospitals, and my mom made my dad call all the hospitals and everything. But my dad wouldn't call the morgues. I think he was too afraid to find out. I think he really thought that I was dead. But anyway, so that's that. And then in Florida, even if it's an accidental overdose, you automatically get Baker Acted, which means that they take you into the nut house for at least 72 hours to give you a psychiatric evaluation. Well, because of the severity of my overdose and the severity of my injuries internally and mentally, they made me stay for a whole fucking week. It was hell. I hate nut houses. I've been admitted to nut houses 6 to 8 times in my life. It didn't help that I was in there with a guy who was like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. He got arrested for like a DUI, and he was mentally unstable. He had like schizophrenia or something. And he was saying, I just want to get the fuck out of here and do an Oxy 80. And I'm just like, oh, I just don't want to hear about any drugs right now. So anyway, after that, my parents were really disappointed in me, and I don't blame them. My mind was so real fuzzy. It was fuzzy for a good year after that. But anyway, my dad had run out of money to send me to good rehab. So since I'd already done, so he sent me down. So I was already in Florida. He sent me to West Palm Beach Rehab, which is a great place. They cook your own food, cooked to order, shrimp, lobster, anything you want. Like expensive as shit. Good counseling and all that. Walks on the beach. It was a really good place. But acupuncture, all that good stuff. Saunas, gym, all that. But anyway, then after that, I proceeded to go to JUNKIE'S in Chattanooga, which is a government-run facility since I ran my dad out of all his money. And I was clean for 6 months. Longest time I'd been clean. I was proud of myself. I was doing really good. I had a job at Ulta Makeup, the makeup store. I was doing real good. Then, my eyes caught my future husband, Justin. He was doing the junkie shuffle. He was withdrawing off methadone. He looked so sexy, so cute in that junkie way, if you know what I mean, addicts. But it was love at first sight. I still don't understand how that works. I've never experienced it before, but I didn't. He was an inpatient at the time. I was an outpatient at JUNKIE'S, doing the halfway house thing. And I would see him walking in the lunch line, and I just knew that I had to go after him. So I did. I went after him. I made him meet me in the woods and stuff, and then we got banned from seeing each other. And he was a virgin, which he didn't tell me. He told me he had a girlfriend and all that, but that made it better because I felt like I was competing. Because the chick that he told me he had, that was his girlfriend, was this really hot Latina chick, Ami Valentin, which, hi Ami, love you, miss you. And by the way, Ami, you're very sexy. But anyway, so I chased him like a man would would chase a woman. And I was wondering why he wasn't touching me or anything. But anyway, so we snuck around when we got banned from seeing each other. And we snuck around. And I ended up eloping with him to his mom's, where I'm at right now. And we ended up actually doing heroin. I relapsed. And but we had fun. I actually did overdose in that time, in that 2-week period that I was, you know, staying with him. And he brought me back to life. He gave me CPR and brought me back to life. So he saved my life again. Yeah, I was a really bad addict. Well, we fell in love. And then I went up to Tennessee, and we were long distance. And then he moved up to Tennessee with me, and we've been together 6 years, married for 2 years in August, I believe. And so everything happens for a reason, you guys. You know, if I hadn't overdosed and gone to Cadis, I would have never met the love of my life. So that's my coma story. You know, just, I know how hard it is going through even an overdose, you know, not even a coma, just an overdose. It's very difficult, and sometimes honestly I wish that the doctors didn't save me, that they would have just let me go, because life is really hard. It's a struggle being clean. It really is, as you well know. It's a struggle every day, and it will always be a struggle, but we are strong individuals, us addicts. I was telling Justin that, you know, people always say that people who survive cancer, you know, oh, they're strong for surviving that. You know, us addicts who get clean off of heroin, Suboxone, Coke, anything. I mean, and we don't even get any praise or anything like that, like cancer survivors or anything like that. But I think we're stronger than cancer or any of those disease survivors, because we're stronger because we put up with a lot more shit from our family and society and all that. So that's that. That's my story. Hope you guys liked. If you have any suggestions, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. If you're going through a hard time and have any questions, let me know. I know a lot about drugs. I'm pretty much like a pharmacist. I mean, I know milligrams, all that shit. I mean, if you have any questions, even if you're using, feel free to ask. I don't judge. I don't judge. You know, I was on a needle for a long time. That was the hardest thing to quit, harder than heroin or anything ever. It was the hardest thing to quit. But I overcame that, and you can too. And for all my recovering addicts, good job. I praise you. And if nobody else will, I know that you're strong as fuck, and you can get through anything in life if you can overcome drug addiction. Any drug, no matter what. So I love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my story. And like I said, leave in the comments if you have any suggestions, or if you would just want to hear more stories or questions, or if you want some advice. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I've been through a lot. I think my next story I will be discussing when I was a prostitute, and a crack whore prostitute, or crackhead prostitute whore. Anyway, namaste, and much love and peace to you all. Love you, and I will see you later. Hope you enjoyed my first video. And titties, titties, titties. I'm just kidding. I wish I could dance, you guys, but my knee hurts really bad. My ligament is torn. So I love you guys, and I will see you on the other side.